Winners are grinners, losers are learners, and those lessons that you get from those losses set you up for your next and future wins. Every great champion, every sport, hasn't won every single game, has not won every single bout, has not won every single event. There's been many losses, and that's where they've learnt and they've taken those lessons and they've applied it to their training and become better and have eventually won and become champions. In martial arts, we have this great saying, you don't win and lose in martial arts, you win and learn. And every winner has had many, many losses, and a winner has lost more times than a loser has even tried. So what I do know in martial arts, if you train enough and you become good enough and you compete enough, you will win enough. But how do you handle those losses? Yes, it is personal. Yes, it can be emotional. Well, first lesson, if you're emotional, don't open your mouth, because you open your mouth, what will come out will be words of regret. So first of all, when you're emotional, if you're upset, if you're angry, whatever it might be, keep your mouth shut, breathe deeply, smile, congratulate your opponent with humility, and be grateful that you got the opportunity to compete. And then walk off the mat and then deal with that in private. But better off, deal with that in your training. Put it into your training so you can become better the next time. So here are the 4 reasons why you lose and the 4 ways of how you can deal with how you lost to turn it into a win. The first reason you lost is because your opponent is just better. Simple as that. And it's important that for you to acknowledge that. If your opponent is better, more skilled, more conditioned, more in the game than you are, more experienced, then hey, take that loss as a lesson, that you had a great opportunity to learn from someone who gave you a master class. I remember in 2012 I competed in the World Champs in Canada. I got through to the finals, which was really cool, competing for the gold medal, and I lost the fight. But I knew when I walked off, I lost fair and square. The other person was better. It was close, but they were better, and I congratulated him, and since then we've become long life friends ever since. But I remember being on the podium, standing in the second place with the silver medal, and I looked up at him. I thought, I'll be back. I'm going to claim that spot. And a friend of mine who so honestly says, hey Kman, you don't win silver, you lose gold. Yes, that hit me in the face pretty hard, but that made me go and train harder and harder. And the next World Cup, I ended up winning a gold medal after that. But that really drove me. I didn't get bitter, I got better. So if you get beaten by someone who's better than you, then hey, learn the lesson and say, hey, you've just inspired me to become better. 2 of my students, they're only young, 7, 8, 9 years of age, little Jurgen and Pascali. They went and competed. They're great martial artists going into their first international competition coming up, but they went to the athletic event and they lost. They came second. But they said to their mum, look, we're really grateful that we came second because that person was better. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and train harder. So next year, I'm going to not just beat that person, but anyone else who steps up into the track. So what a great attitude, because martial arts is all about attitude. It's all about, being humble in victory and grateful in defeat. So the first reason you lose, the person's better. Hey, what a great opportunity that you just learn from someone who's better than you so you can actually become better. The other reason why you learn is you lose is because you just made a mistake. You stuffed up basically, and it's all your fault. If you're looking for a helping hand, look at the end of the arm. And that's happened to me many times. I've just mucked up a pattern at the World Champs in 2017 in the Netherlands. I was competing against a good friend of mine, and I mucked up. I went the wrong way, and he ended up winning. And I was super happy for him because he was a very close friend of mine, but I took that lesson and I've never mucked up in that point of the pattern ever again. Happened again in 2018 at the World Cup in Sydney, and I was in the final and I went the wrong way and I lost. It was actually quite close because the judges, I went the wrong way and a couple of the judges thought I went the right way. So I've actually got 2 of the 5 votes to win, which is interesting because I went the wrong way. So I found that quite humorous. And the person who won, a guy called Peter from Hungary, is also a very good friend of mine, and I was very, very happy and very, very supportive of him. I'm very glad that he won and he'll go home to his family in victory, and I went with the silver medal with the lesson. But again, at that point of the pattern, I've never ever mucked up ever since then. I was in the power breaking final one day when breaking stuff, and I lost because I was supposed to break a board with a knife, 3 boards with a knife hand. I've done it before, and as I was breaking, I just had to break this to win the gold medal, and I was mentally already polishing the gold medal, and I didn't break it. But the gentleman who won is from Bulgaria, a big guy, really humble, very nice person. I was very, very happy for him. So I learnt not to polish the gold medal until you've actually finished the event. So a great lesson. If you muck up, you're the one who muck up. But then what you do with that is you go back to training and drill that mistake out. You drill it so much so that you never make that mistake again. So you don't train till you get it right, you train till you can't get it wrong. And those lessons will come to you in different competitions, whether it be in sparring, you did the wrong thing at the wrong time and you mucked up, or you did the wrong pattern or went the wrong way, whatever it might be, then hey, you just have to go back and make sure that never happens again. And how that is just repetition of the mother of all skill, and drill it from your mind into the cells of the body so you won't forget it, because the cells won't forget it, the mind will. The other reason why you will lose is because the judges. It might be because of judges' biasness or whatever it might be, and that's just natural. People are humans, judges are human, so there's always going to be some form of biasness in competition. Now, maybe not so in some sports where it's just first across the line you win, but if there's anything in judging, whether it be judging a routine, or even in boxing is rife with disputes about who should have won. There's 3 judges, they all judge, and they give it to the person where you think, how did they win? Well, that person should have won, because that's a human biasness. So most of the times the judge get it right. Some of the times that's just a part of life. Some of the times, the vote goes against you. I've been in countries where I'm in the home country competing with their local hero, and a lot of the judges are from their country. I accept the fact that sometimes the vote's going to go against me, even though I may be the better person. I just accept that. That's the sport I chose. If you can't accept that, don't do a sport which is subjective in evaluation of your performance, whether it be dancing or kata or patterns or something which is not black and white or absolute. But if you accept that, then you learn how to deal with it, because as I said, if you compete enough, then you will win enough. And the goal then is you say, okay, I have to become so good. I have to become so good, then they have to pick me. I have to be so obvious, they have to pick me. And I've been in countries where they're known for being very, very biased, and I've gone into those countries knowing that, and I just trained so good that they just had to pick me. Some of them I just won, even though I should have won by a landslide. But fortunately, there were a few judges on there who had to pick me. So I become so good that they have to pick you, and accept the fact that sometimes they won't. And that's just a part of it. And that just comes down to training, and do more training until the separation is so obvious. But sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. And accept that. Deep breathe, breathe deeply. Don't open your mouth. Congratulate the other person. Be happy for them, because they're a person. They have a family and friends and cheerleaders and all sorts of stuff, and they're going to go away really happy that they got a gold medal, and your day will come. Just get back into training and get on with it. Don't get bitter, get better. The other reason why you may lose is because you might be in a team and it may not be your fault. Means someone in your team has let you down, whether it be in a team of any sport, a team of martial arts. In Taekwondo we have team patterns, we have team sparring, we have team breaking. I've been in numerous teams. And me personally, when I go into a team of martial arts, it's my fun event. So I go in there because I love the camaraderie between me and my teammates and the opponents. But sometimes someone in the team lets you down. So if that happens, it's really important to first of all understand one day that might be you letting the team down. And also acknowledge that person probably didn't deliberately muck up. They probably didn't deliberately want to make a mistake. They were trying their best, and they did what they did because of the pressure of the situation, or they had a mental blank, or whatever it might be, or they dropped the ball, whatever it might be. So it's important that you don't judge. Don't throw stones in glass houses, because they think of the intent. They did their best and they made the mistake. And one day that will be you. You will drop the ball, or you will forget the move, or you will let the team down. It's not that you did it deliberately. But I know it doesn't feel good, particularly when you're the one who did it. But just, seek to understand before to be understood. So seek to see where they are at and just comfort them, and rather than judge them and get angry at them, just comfort them and say, hey, it's okay. At the end of the day, we're not dodging bullets and running away from missiles in war. It's a sport. It's just a sport. At the end of the day, most people in the world don't care. Only you care. And so you have to accept that if you're in a team event, sometimes the team lets you down. And if you become, the best way to make the team better is for you to get better. You just have to, sometimes you may have to carry the extra load, and that's okay. You have to accept that. You may have to carry the extra load. You may have to make sure you get the winning goal. You may have to win the winning fight, or do the winning break, or do the winning move, whatever it might be. But get better yourself, and then you getting better will raise the team standard. So the team will raise to its highest performer. Be that highest performer, raise everywhere. Sometimes people drop off, or they drop the ball, and that's okay. You as the leader have to make sure that everything's okay, because there will be many more events. All teams don't always win, and all teams sometimes they lose because of individuals in the team, and that's it. They just keep moving forward. And if you can't handle that, don't go into a team. Don't go into a team if you can't handle that. But what a great way to personally develop yourself, to go into a team, to learn how to handle that, because that's life. The great thing with martial arts is all these losses, disappointments, are really a reflection of things that happen in life. In life, whether it be in your career or your relationships or your interactions with other humans, sometimes you're just going to be beaten by the better prospect. Sometimes you're the person who's going to make the mistake that made you lose the opportunity. Sometimes the managers or the bosses or the supervisors or whatever it might be, or the coaches, they're going to have a biasness against you because of they don't like your hair or whatever it might be. And sometimes as a team, someone's going to let the team down, whether it be in the personal world or whether it be the recreation world or the corporate world, whatever it might be. So martial arts and competition is a great way to condition you to handle the losses in life that are the platform and the foundation for the next win. So take that on board. At the end of the day, you only live once, and life is too short to get upset about minor things. So don't sweat the small stuff, because at the end of the day, it's all small stuff. And there will be always a new chapter for you to write for yourself. That chapter might be the chapter of lessons, then you apply those lessons into the next chapter, and that will be the chapter of wins. And when you go on to the next chapter, you may go through a chapter of losses and lessons again, because you're competing at a higher level. So if you took all your mistakes and all your lessons in your life, and you put all those lessons and you put them into your next day or your next training session, how great is your next day or your next training session is going to be. So take your lessons from the past, put it into your next training session, and you do that continually, your training sessions will rise, you will become better, your standards will rise, and your opportunities will increase, and you get to the stage where you will win enough because you became good enough and you compete enough. Fight Fit with a K-Man.